it 100.
Hello, y'all.
Hey, welcome to the Mama Can I Ask You Something podcast, where we're bringing our mother-daughter conversations to you.
Yay.
I'm Ariah.
I am Reverend Annettra.
And welcome. Okay, so what is one word to describe how you're feeling today?
Whew, how I feel today.
Today.
I feel ready. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a feeling, but
Yeah. No, I mean, I asked for a word.
a word. Yeah, so a word to describe how I'm feeling today. I just feel ready.
Yeah.
Like 2022 has been a year, and I am just so ready for all that 2023 holds. I'm ready because I feel so optimistic about it. So, yeah, ready.
Okay.
So what's your one word?
My one word to describe how I'm feeling would be enlightened.
Okay, say more.
I was kid free last night.
Come on, kid free.
And so, I was able to take a little more time to myself, but I read my Bible. Actually, the Bible, not the app. I pulled out my Bible.
Come on
the
now.
one you got me, what was that, for Christmas one year with my name on it engraved? Or you just got it for me just because?
Probably just because.
Yeah, I got my actual Bible.
Yeah.
Went in, went through Proverbs.
Okay.
And then I prayed when I got in my closet, prayed, meditated. So I'm just feeling really enlightened. And I found a scripture. Okay. So at first I was like, okay, 2023, it'll be so dope if Psalms was a 20th book in 23, because remember we were talking about Psalms 23? Psalms is the 19th book. It was this close.
Yeah.
It's all like the Proverbs 2023.
Okay.
So yeah, 2023.
Okay.
And so, there were some good things in there. I forgot to bring
So what's Proverbs 2023?
I mean, that's a whole chapter.
Yeah, okay. I thought you meant like you went to Proverbs 20, like the 23rd verse.
Proverbs is the 20th book.
Okay.
And I went to the 23rd chapter and I read it. And then I also read something in Psalms that I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living.
Yeah. So that's from Psalms 23.
Yeah. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm holding on to for next year, for this upcoming year, is that I will see the goodness of the Lord in this life, not the after.
Yeah, come on now.
So,
in the land of the living.
In the land of the living, to be specific. Because we talk so much about when we go on yonder, when we go, but I'm going to see the goodness of the Lord now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And we were actually talking last night about 2023 being not our Jordan year, but our Psalm 23 year.
Yeah.
And I said that this is the year that he restores my soul, anoints my head with oil. My cup runs over. Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
And we shall see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. I like that.
Yeah. So enlightened is my word, and ready is your word.
Ready.
But let us know what your word is for the day. Or for this, and when you're watching this episode, you gotta let us know what's your word. Okay?
What's your one word that you would use, to describe how you feeling?
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna start doing these little icebreaker discussions, but of course we're all on social media, and there's always all types of topics and things that are trending going on. And so I saw this clip from this lady talking about how, for her, with her dating life, a man being unemployed is not a deal breaker for her. So my question would be to you, Mama, can I ask you something?
Well,
would you date someone who's unemployed?
Who is unemployed?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Right.
More than likely not.
Right.
But it depends, because is he unemployed, but he also has sufficient savings and investments, and so he's good as he's in this in-between place. Like maybe he's unemployed, but he ain't broke.
Mm-hmm.
He's just in an in-between place.
Yeah.
Does he get degrees? Is he in school? Does he have vision?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say I probably would not date someone unemployed, but it's not a deal breaker.
Okay.
Because he could still have money in the bank. Shorty, what you drink? Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just because he could be in between jobs, but it doesn't mean that he's broke.
Okay.
He might be, yeah. Sitting pretty.
Okay.
And trying to figure some things out, and he don't got to rush to the next, because the savings, the investments.
It's a big if.
It's a big if.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your answer?
I'm gonna give a no because
no.
I'm gonna give a flat no, and that's because I like romance. Like you say, your thing, all of that. That is a big if, but like, I'm not saying that I wouldn't involve. Like, we could be cool. You can be my friend,
Yeah.
be my buddy, but I want dates. I want a certain level of kind of like courtship and romance.
Yeah.
So, and to me, if you're like at a place where you don't have any income, then I feel like you got bigger fish to fry. Like, you got other things that you kind of need to be worrying about,
right?
Other than dating, which is why I remember I told you I would not seriously date, because I had to get I'm in the season of like getting my stuff together. So I wouldn't because I want you to get you together first, because I know my love language. My love language is receiving gifts. Okay, you ain't got no income, I can't get no gifts. So,
but if he got a good savings and he has investments and he has assets, he has things that he can pull from, he can probably still take you on a date. I'm saying, what if he's unemployed but he ain't broke, and he's even in this in between time, he still got it to fly you to Jamaica?
I don't know, something about me, something within me though is just like, I don't want you to take it from your emergency fund to take me on a date.
Maybe it's an emergency. I need to be courted. It's an emergency.
I'd rather wait until you I'll wait, like, cause like I me and my deals on marriage and stuff right now. So I ain't no rush. I'm just saying, like, I'd rather you just get yourself together, figure out, maybe, because when I say here unemployed, I just hear no income, personally.
See, I don't.
I heard no income, so, because I know, like, I just hear no income. So that's kind of the mind frame. I mean, like, if you ain't got no income, like, I don't want you spending, like, your savings and all that stuff is for you to get yourself back. And I get that. Floating. But if I lost my job today, I'm still not broke. Oh shit, that's why I love tomorrow.
Listen. So, okay.
Y'all see, listen.
What's y'all's answer? Make sure y'all put y'all's answer in the comments.
Brothers, if you are unemployed, do not slide in my DM until you are. Okay?
Girl.
So, even if you're an entrepreneur, whatever, listen, if business is not booming,
girl, bye.
Focus on business first. Because that's what I'm going to do. Listen, I told you, my love language gifts. I also like to give, okay?
Yeah.
So if I'm not in a place where I can't give,
yeah,
bro, we're just going to have to be cool. We're going to have to just text.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not saying I wouldn't be involved. Like, I'm not saying we can't text, talk. Yeah. I'm just saying, don't say you dating me.
Yeah. Because I get that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not counting them out. Like, I don't know. But it's just like.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Okay. So, today. Our topic is about mental health. Okay. Yeah. This is, we're recording this at the very end of December, right before the new year. This time, statistically, is one of, has the highest rates for depression and stuff like that. Just
suicide.
Just time of year, just in general. And then, of course, we just saw in the news that Ellen's DJ Twitch
died by suicide.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, trigger warning, we are going to be talking about suicide and suicide ideation and We're just going to have a real conversation because it has also touched our mother-daughter relationship. And so we're bringing that vulnerable space to you all today.
Yes.
So, whew.
Yeah, this is to do. No. Mama, can I ask you something?
Girl, what? Girl, what?
So growing up, how did you deal with mental health, or was it even classified as that? Do you think it wasn't really talked about? Like, how was it dealt with for you growing up?
It wasn't.
Yeah.
No, like the way that we have mental health discussions now, it wasn't something that we really talked about growing up. I don't think I can remember anyone talking about having a therapist or going to therapy. Therapy was always looked at as something that like rich white folks had the privilege, or you were the rich white or you were crazy. So no one really talked about therapy. I don't recall seeing mental health dealt with like in a healthy way. You know, I remember being young and seeing a family member having a mental breakdown, just having like a breakdown. Like the memory of that has always stuck with me, but it just wasn't something that we discussed. And so
Yeah.
I think I kind of grew up under that strong black woman era where we didn't talk about mental health, and if we were having any type of mental health crisis, we didn't have time to deal with it. Like, you push through and you keep it moving. Yeah.
And so the reason why I asked that question is because, you know, this is an intergenerational podcast.
Yeah.
You know, depending on what article you look at, some might say we're both millennials, some might say she's millennial, I'm Gen Z.
Yeah.
So, it just depends. But all in all, definitely different time periods. And so for my generation, of course, mental health is talked about.
Yeah.
We have these discussions. It's a lot more common to say you have a therapist. It's a lot more, all these different things. And so I had to start with that just to get us a basis of you growing up, those discussions not happening, and then you have to parent me.
Yes, I did.
And so what was the biggest challenge that you faced raising a child that struggled with depression, self-harm, and suicidal thoughts, and even some attempts?
You just went straight for the juggler, didn't you? You didn't like ease us in. Okay. Whew. It was hard. I'm gonna say that in the beginning, when you began to have struggles, I would say first I just ignored it. I kind of ignored maybe you spiraling at times, just like, that girl better get her stuff together. But I think that when stuff really hit the fan, I know that I failed you in the beginning, because I think in the beginning I probably was more so concerned with how that made me look as a parent, and also it made me feel that I failed somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking, I've raised this girl better than I was raised. Like, you didn't go through nowhere near what I went through in childhood. And I'm like, she's always had her own room. Like, I buy her everything. She gets everything she wants. Like, for me, what could possibly be wrong, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't see a reason for you to be going through what you were going through. I felt like a failure. I think at times I was also concerned about just like how this made me look. And I also did not have the resources or the tools to respond to you in a healthy way. Yeah. And so I could just remember, for the most part, feeling like I failed you somewhere because I did not understand how mental health, how it really worked.
Yeah.
I had no real idea of what you were going through internally, and I wanted you to just be me and just like, you know, push through, like, girl, get it together. Like, you know, I ain't never go through this. And like, and I think I remember having this epiphany one day of just, Annettra, she's not you. She's different.
Yeah. And
you're going to have to figure out how to parent her for the unique person that she is. And I had to learn how to love you differently than than I had been loving you. I had to learn how to parent you differently. So it was a challenge. Yeah, it was a challenge. And I'm really grateful that during that time, though, that we were living on the seminary campus, and so I was able to get resources and go and ask people for help. Yeah. And also realizing that even though I was preparing for ministry at the time, that I was ill-equipped to respond. And so going to get you a therapist and taking you to Kylan's office and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me go get her some help. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me say, too, that it's never too early to start having the conversations around mental health in the home. And I say this because, like, my mom mentioned us being on the seminary campus. But by the time we moved to the seminary campus, I was in high school. In my memory, the earliest kind of like public episode that I had, which was at school, I was in either the 4th or the 5th grade, and I was hearing voices, and I started kind of like, I don't want to say going crazy because I hate to say it like that, but I just started like
having an anxiety attack.
Yeah, and I started kind of like spazzing out, and I was hearing these voices, and I was hearing something say that, like, you were pregnant with Ernest. She was pregnant with my brother. And I remember it was saying, like, oh, something's going to happen to the baby and stuff. And I remember my friend Nia, at the time, if she watches this, she literally brought this up not too long ago.
Really?
Because it scared her, because she was like, what is happening? What is wrong? And so that was 5th grade. All through middle school, I struggled with self-harm. My mom just didn't know. And mind you, in middle school, that was at like the inception of things like Instagram. And iPhones were starting to become more popular. And I remember this because I asked my mama for an iPhone. And she said, baby, them iPhones is for business people. You ain't getting no iPhone. You go over with that razor and get out of my face. But it's okay. I got one in high school. But so they were as far as social media goes, they're still figuring it out. So you could go on Instagram and you could just see people would post the things that they were doing. So I think another reason probably why so many things hit our generation so much harder is because it started being, in a way, it was like broadcasted.
It was just so easily accessible
to see that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And the music and the messaging. Me and all of my friends struggle with self-harm. I'm pretty sure we bonded on the fact that we're all cut. Like, like,
I remember when the first time I found out that you had been cutting. Child, it was like somebody just hit me with a ton of bricks, because I was like, I didn't know this was a real thing. Yeah. Like, I ain't no black kids cut. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. And gosh, I just remember as a mom, a single mom, I just remember just feeling so freaking lost, and like I felt helpless, because also none of my friends no one has talked about mental health. So I don't feel comfortable going and telling any of my friends about what you were going through. And I remember one time you were going to you were almost going to take some pills, you were almost gonna take some pills. And this was at the time when I was applying to seminary. And I just remember crying out, and because I stopped working on the application, and I had to go and attend to you, and I just remember crying out, and I was like, Lord, what do I do? Like, do I finish the seminary application, or do I need to like quit my job and forget school, but also like quit my job so that I can attend to my child? Because obviously, like, trying to work and go to school, I'm not able to provide. I just felt like I wasn't able to keep enough of an eye on you. And I just remember praying, and I felt the Lord tell me to keep going. But also then I reached out to the prayer warriors who I knew. And it was it was folks from the intercessory prayer team at Kingdom Fellowship. And I reached out and I asked if they would just join me in prayer. And the women's got to praying. And I will say that, eventually things did get a lot better.
And so, like she said, she didn't know that it was a real thing as far as the self-harm thing.
I didn't.
And I remember, and this is one of those things where you have to like be careful not, I'm learning now, even with like, I say parent my brother and my sister because of our age gap. But like, because I kind of am still a parent figure. I'm an authoritative figure in the household. And so I be careful not to minimize whatever they feel like, whenever they express whatever they're experiencing, because I'm not saying even just specifically you, I'm just saying adults in general. You could say about how something would make you feel at school or something going on with your friends. So in 6th grade, in 7th grade, your social life is your life. You're in school. That's everything. So when you express something and then the response is, them ain't gonna be your friends in a few years anyways, girl, forget about them. I don't know why you're crying about, but that's in a way that would minimize how big it was for me, because you ain't seeing that, but I'm the one going to school with no friend, and now everybody's mad at me, or nobody likes me, or they're talking about me. And like I said, we got social media. So the thing is, the drama at school wasn't just at school. You go home, you get on Instagram, or you go on Snapchat, and the drama's still there, which magnifies it. And so that's why, like, I'm developing, like, more of a relationship with my brother and stuff. I'm making sure to be careful in my word selection, especially because even with my sister, I do know there was a lot of me that was dramatic and extra.
She's very dramatic.
When I was younger. But I heard it so much. I remember even up to points where I was an adult and I was dealing with self-harm. I would just think I was being extra when really there was a real problem. But then it was like, well, there I go, just being extra. Or people would say, oh, that's attention. You just want attention and stuff like that. And honestly, I've never understood that. If you think somebody's doing something for attention, like, to me, that is a very drastic way to get attention. Like, why not check on said person? Like I've never understood that. But wait, let me get this back open. But it's also because, like we said, different generations, right? There's a lot of like memes and stuff around my generation. It's like me telling my mom I'm depressed, and her telling me, it was like the depression leaving my body when my mama said, go depress them dishes. So like, you tell your mama you're depressed, you go depress them dishes, and it's like, thanks.
Sounds like something I probably would have said before I became fully aware. Like,
and you definitely touched on a question that I asked, because I literally was gonna ask what caused the shift from you minimizing what was going on with me to actually getting me help, and she ended up addressing that on her own, because I don't really know when the shift happened and as far as the timeline, but I just know it went from you stopped over spiritualizing it. Because it was church folk. Please, y'all have to stop doing that. I did not say I don't love the Lord. Like, well, if you trust in God with all your might, you wouldn't even be thinking no thought. Do you think I want to think these thoughts?
Right.
You think I chose to like like, you know, like, it's just, we have to get out of over spiritualizing, especially when it comes to mental health. And another tip that I would give to anybody that if you know someone who's dealing with it, okay, especially when it comes to the suicidal ideation and like having those types of thoughts, when you say, well, don't you just think about your family and how that would make them feel, I guarantee you the thought has, I promise you, we've considered, that option has been considered. I did not learn it. Literally, when we just went on the cruise in October, and I was on the balcony looking at the water. I don't know what it is about the water, living water. I don't know what it is with that water, but I was looking at the water and I'm just journaling, I'm just thinking. And I had been saying for a while now, since I had my son, like, my son was the reason for me living, the son. And God literally told me, you can't, like, he can't be it. I had to have a reason that was for me. Nothing that was outside of myself.
That's good.
Because then if something happens to my son, and then what?
Then what's your reason?
Then what's your reason
to live?
You know? So it was like I had, and I just got to that point. October, I had to find my reason. You know, and everybody, you know, who deals with this, you have to, you know, find your own. And that's why you never know what somebody's going through. You never know what you say, what you can say that's gonna could push somebody further into darkness or over the edge. Because this one girl, McKaylin, she was the opposite. She was light for me. I remember in my freshman year, it was so dark. So my mom talked about how she almost didn't finish her seminary application. Little did we know her going to seminary would change my school district, would change which school I would go to. And that changed my life, because the environment of the school that I was in was what was the most toxic thing for me. So just listening to God,
right, and
just going forward and just trusting is literally what I feel like saved my life at a point, because it was just so bad. But my freshman year was a very dark year for me. And I remember this one girl, McKaylin, she was popular, very beautiful cheerleader. She had but me and her, we would talk, we had a class together, and she always talked about God. So when my mom told me how she just always prayed that God would send someone, I know for a fact in that season of my life that it was McKaylin. And me and her were not best friends or anything. But when we would talk and stuff, she was always affirming me. Like, now that I know what affirming is, she was always affirming me and telling me how much God loves me. And when
McKaylin at the high school ministry.
And when I would ask her, because she was like,
thank you, Lord,
she had great grades and stuff. And I would ask her, like, how do you have such good grades? And she would tell me, like, you know, when I first get home, I do my homework. And she was like, and honestly, I just pray. Like, and I grew up in church, but it still didn't seem cool to really openly talk about God like that. And Jesus, and like it still wasn't like cool. So at school, it wasn't something that I was really talking about. So when it was someone like her, I was like, man, like, she just spoke so much life into me.
Wow.
Like, even though I had like attempts that year and stuff, after the fact, she was like, you know, I'm so like sad to hear that, but God loves you. Like, people do not understand what your words can do for a person. Like, seriously. And so McKaylin.
We thank God for McKaylin. And then you getting to Atherton and you getting a whole new circle of friends. You ended up building like strong relationships with your teachers. And there was just a total shift. And then we had the seminary community just there supporting us. We had a whole just new environment. It was almost like moving to a new city, even though we were still in our same city. But seminary, those were some good years.
And I think that the reason why we have to talk about these things is because you also have to normalize it. Because I learned this. I've done a lot of therapy, as you can imagine, a lot. Okay.
Praise God.
And so, in group therapy, though, the reason for group therapy is so that you see that you are not the only person that feels a certain way. Regardless of what the specific situation is, that feeling, you are not the only person that feels like that. Because, like I told you, I feel like a big trick of the enemy is to make you feel like it's just you.
It's just you.
It's just you. Weirdo. You know?
Yeah.
It's just you.
Yeah.
Miss Extra.
Yeah.
You the only one, It's just you. But if we talk about it, and people are more honest about
and normalize it.
Talk about it, normalize it, but people being more honest about what exactly they are feeling.
Yep.
Now I don't feel. The self-talk might not be so negative, because you got to think I'm dealing with these thoughts, but then my self-talk is negative because I think I'm weird. I think something for real is wrong with me.
Yeah.
You know, like, so we have to have more honest conversations about this, especially in places like the church. If we are to build disciples,
come on now,
and you want people to go out there and with everything is not always shoving the Bible down somebody's throat.
Right.
McKaylin just simply told me that God loved me.
Simple. Oh, it's so simple. It's so simple.
Even with all of the stuff that I was feeling and going.
Yeah.
She just simply told me that.
Yeah.
But she didn't start, oh no, and demons and that's the devil. She didn't
do none of that.
She didn't do none of that.
Come on now. Yeah.
And when you do that, that's why people start to take a step away.
It's by his love.
Yeah.
That causes us to repent and want to do something different. It's by God's loving kindness.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time that me having grown up the way that I grew up, just very street, very hood, I already felt like I was going to hell anyway. So telling me that I was going to hell, baby, you ain't told me nothing that I ain't already done made peace with, right? So, but when somebody talked about God loving me, when you talk about God's grace, and when you talk about God's forgiveness, it's like, wait, hold up.
Right.
I want to know some more about that.
Right.
Give me some more of that, Yeah. And that's why I always say we have one job, and that is just to love people.
Yeah.
Where they are. We literally have one job. And I'm so glad that Michaela did her job. McKaylin.
Her sister's Michaela.
Did her job so well. And we came out of a place of toxic theology where you could not confess sickness, weakness, whatever, if it wasn't things that were just on the up and up, you could not speak anything that was not you speaking in faith. And so therefore you had to suppress your emotions. You had to suppress the things that you were going through. But I'm glad that we ended up with a community and being surrounded by a community of people that gave us the language and allowed us to be able to just freely talk.
Yeah.
And so that is a blessing. And I agree that in the church we would do well to have more conversations. And I'm so glad for places like Louisville Seminary and other places that prepare clergy folks to be therapists, right? And to be able to walk alongside people. I'm grateful for Reverend Kim, the first Black woman that I heard say, I was in RIM, and she said, there's 2 appointments I never miss. She said, I never miss my hair appointment or my therapy appointment. I said, come through, Black woman.
Right.
And that was when I got me a therapist.
Yeah. And
actually had my longest relationship with a therapist. But it all started because a Black woman, because this woman, this ordained woman who was also a therapist herself, unapologetically said, there's 2 appointments I don't miss, my hair appointment and my therapy appointment. Yeah. And I just was like, wow. There was nothing, it didn't have a stigma like when she said it. It didn't feel weird. I was like, oh, okay. So we could do therapy for like self-care and not reactive. Yes. Not that we're trying to clean up a mess or not just because we are in a crisis. Get you a therapist to prevent the crises from continuing to happen, right? And to get tools to walk to be able to use whenever you do encounter a crisis. And so if you don't have a therapist, Jesus and a therapist.
Listen. Yes, I'm all we are.
Psalms and your Zoloft.
Listen.
Or whatever. Yes.
Just because someone is in therapy does not mean that there's like a severe crisis,
Doesn't mean
acute
there's anything
situation.
wrong.
And now because I'm not in a point and where there's something acute to be treated.
Right.
The therapy that I've done this past year has been so insightful because I've learned so much about myself because like I'm not saying now that that's out the way because I've worked through a lot of the challenges that I had in the past. So now like I have a lot more of the tools,
a lot more awareness,
but the tools are the biggest part. I know what to do when I'm feeling what.
Yeah.
And now I've learned more of how to voice
what you need,
what I need. Like I'm able to tell you now, I need space, or like I need.
And I know now how to, even if you don't voice it, like, all right, she's having a moment.
Yes.
Y'all go get me Isaiah. Shut her door. Come on, let's go to the park.
Yes.
Let's give her an hour.
Yes.
So she can go in her closet and meditate. And I love, though, now how it's a joy as a mother to see us on the other side.
Yeah.
On the other side of it all. Because we've gone through the hospitalizations.
Yeah.
We have gone through, I would say one of the things that I learned to do too, because if you got a family that gossip and talk too much, that was the one time I learned, cover my baby. When she was having her breakdowns and we went through the hospitalizations, all of that cutting, nobody in my family knew.
Yeah.
I didn't tell nobody.
Yeah.
I reached out to the prayer warriors who I knew would pray. My child was not about to be the topic of discussion in different family households. And there will be some that will watch this and be like, dang, never knew Ariah went through any of that. You right, you didn't.
Yeah.
Because as a mother, I felt it was my job to cover you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what I did.
Yeah.
So somebody could have called. I could have been right in the hospital waiting room waiting for them to let me know if they was going to keep you for 3 days or something because you had an episode or we fought.
Yeah.
You know?
Physically. Yeah.
I was 8 months pregnant.
All right. Before she tried to make me sound like a villain, you can flinch at your mama and she would take it as you just smacked her across her face. But literally... You would have thought, let me tell you how the fight went, okay? She did something. I don't know what you did that was like in my face, and I swatted your hand out of my face. You would have thought I just meat her in her mouth.
She swatted. Don't you dare put your bing.
Yeah. And I couldn't, of course, really fight back because she's pregnant.
Right.
So... next thing you know, my face is getting drug up the steps. But we definitely came out on the other side.
We did.
And
and so for the parents who may be watching, you are struggling with your baby, don't give up. Don't give up. Because in addition to like the mental health, there were just times of you just acting out.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Acting out. And we ain't gonna blame that on no mental health. You was acting out.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I was a teenager.
Yeah. And so, what would I always tell you?
I refuse to wrap you up, put a bow on you, and hand you over to the street.
That's right.
I refuse. I'd be like, meanwhile, me with my crop top, booty shorts, with hoops, like, okay. Right,
rolling her eyes and like Krishan.
Let me tell y'all. She was so serious. My mama didn't let me go skating. Okay.
Sure didn't.
I didn't get to go skating. She's like, it's just too much like the club. It's gonna prepare you for the club life. I refuse to. Okay. Certain stuff at first she said I couldn't wear. My best friend Malerica could attest to this. I used to leave the house covered, get on the tarp wherever I went, change my shirt to my crop top, put it in my purse. I was outside. When I came back to the house, that other shirt was back home.
That's so sad.
I had to do what I had to do.
That's so sad.
Listen.
It makes me think of, you know how we talk about the different generations? Because Mama would talk about how she would sneak her mama's wigs. You know.
I'm weak.
Yeah, she would sneak her mama's wigs and put on a big old pretty wig or whatever. And
so funny.
Yeah, she would sneak her mama's wigs.
Yeah, no. So we've definitely come out on the other side, and
don't give up on your child.
I'm just grateful. I'm very grateful that I had a parent who had the epiphany, but was willing to try to attempt to understand. That was like, because like I said, my generation, we talk a lot about how, like, because our basic needs, our needs was met as far as, like, when you think of survival, you know, so we have food on the table, clothes on the back, all that,
the name brands,
all, you know, okay, cool. But that's not what I'm depressed about. Like, that had nothing to do with my depression. So when I say I'm depressed and you like, it's hot food on this table and none of it's like, I never said I was hungry. I just said I was depressed. Why is this being brought up?
Right?
I'm mad because a brother broke my heart and I don't know what to do with this heartbreak. Yeah. And then you got this other person mad at me. This girl want to fight me. I'm depressed about these things. And you talking about food on the table.
Listen.
I never said I was hungry.
Listen.
Like,
name brand, the bills is paid, your hair is done. Hell, you got on Uggs. I don't even own a pair of Uggs. What you got to be depressed for?
Yeah. Those is definitely.
I should be depressed.
Yeah.
Don't you know the rent is like, I should be depressed.
I'm just like, first I'm like, thank you, but like that is not what I'm upset about. Like, can you just listen to me? Like, it was just like, so I'm really glad. I'm definitely glad that we came out on the other side though, because it definitely strengthened our relationship. And even now, like, you know, I realize now that I got a child, but seeing our relationship, I'm like, dang, parents are definitely gonna stop at 18 because I'm back in her pockets again, in her house, and in their pockets.
Yeah.
But so like, there was this situation, and I had to do a lot of anger management in my therapy, because when I experience big feelings and big emotions and I don't know what to do with it, that's when I tend to do things that are self-destructive. Yeah. Whether it's drinking, whatever it is. Yeah. And so a situation had happened, and at the moment I didn't know what to do. So I'm just like upset. And my mom had said something along the lines of, I don't know why you about to let that just ruin your whole day or ruin your whole evening. We was about to da-da-da-da. And I was just like, I don't know what I did that made you just be like, yeah, okay. Like, I was
like, all right, have your moment. Come on, y'all, get Isaiah. Let's go. Anybody.
And it's funny because she was just, it is even funnier because my son right now, he's so much like me.
He has such big feelings.
Limited vocabulary. So my son just wilds out. He wants to hit, he wants to throw, just whatever. So when that happened, my mama was like, my God, y'all are twins. She said, when you did that, I saw Isaiah. Like, it was equivalent to Isaiah just going off. Yeah. And it's so funny. It's so cute though. But like, definitely just be patient with your child. I'm glad that my mom learned to be patient with me. Because as I grew, it made it easier to come to you. About things, and and you also what do you feel like you learned parenting me? Like, what did you learn about mental health, since it was not like talked about or taught really in your generation, having to parent me, and I had some very extreme situations? What do you feel like you learned?
parenting you in that season looked different than previous seasons. And so I had to learn to, you know, acquire new skills. I had to learn how to pray for you differently. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And there were times where, like I said, I felt helpless. Mm-hmm. There were times I felt helpless, but I never felt hopeless. Come on, somebody. I might have felt helpless, but I never felt hopeless. Because for me, like, this thing, it can't win. Yeah. You know, like, it's my baby. Yeah. I'm going to do whatever. Yeah. Just tell me, Lord, what I got to do. Like, whatever I got to do, yeah, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? But I had to learn that, like, mental health is real because, like I said, I was just completely ignorant to it. I remember having a partner once, and a Negro mentioned, like, wanting to take his life. And for me, it's like, wait, you want to do what? That's your answer to the problem? Yeah. Like, for me, it's like, that is weak. Like, it's a cop-out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, coming from just strong Black women, we ain't have time. We just go, like, and I just had to realize, like, I think I had to just learn. I just wanted you to be me so bad. Mm-hmm. I wanted you to handle life the way I handle life. Like, life throws something at you, what, you know, you take it, whatever. Mm-hmm. Lemons, make lemonade, lemon meringue pie, lemon chicken, lemon bread, lemon drop, lemon, like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I wanted you to just be like, how I've had to be, but you didn't have to be. Yeah. And I remember one time, like, you was just like, "Mommy, I'm not you." Oh, I don't understand. I do, like, and I'm like, damn, she's not. You know? Yeah. There was a strength I wanted you to have, a resilience that was just not a part of your DNA, although it was a part of mine. Mm-hmm. So I had to learn to parent you for who you were. Yeah. So I had to get to know you kind of like all over again. Mm-hmm. I had to watch you. Mm-hmm. I had to watch for different signs for when you were slipping into depression. Like, what does it look like? Oh, okay, she's not coming out that room. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's a sign. Yeah. You know, to lean on God. Mm-hmm. Cover my child. Mm-hmm. And know who I could trust in those kinds of situations. Yeah. And I would say that just, you know, having faith, yeah, was so big. So just knowing that, yeah, God, you will get us through. And I never felt like I was the answer, but that's why my prayer was always, mm-hmm, Lord, if you would just send somebody to her, mm-hmm, somebody that can speak, even if they're saying the exact same words I've been saying. Mm-hmm.
That still happens now, by the way. My mom will say something, and then my therapist say the exact same thing. Yeah. I'm like, my therapist said it. She's like, I've been saying that for the past 2 weeks, but I'm gonna let you have, like, but I'm gonna let y'all have that, like, you know, whoever. Lord, just get the information to her, just whatever it is she needs to have, so she can keep going. Listen, it could be a billboard, her therapist. I don't care if it's a fortune cookie. Just get her what she needs. Just get the word to her, Lord. You know. Yeah. So yeah. I learned a lot. It's made me a better mother. And so that's the reason why I can say that, like, I love my children equally, but I love my children differently. Yeah. Because my children need different things, yeah, from me. And so, yeah. That's really good. Yeah. You being willing to take that journey with me, like, it's like, listen, I don't know really what this is, but here's mama's shoulder. Yeah. when you stepped into that, I think it definitely made a lot of the things that I went through, that I started being more comfortable coming to you with things, and being open.
Yeah.
Even if sometimes I know, okay, this is my mama. Once the acute situation blows over, I'm definitely probably gonna get cussed out because I had no business doing this. But in this moment, I need support. I need some emotional support, so I know I can go to you.
And you know, I have always said that I don't care what my children have going on in life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what it is. I always want you to feel that you can come home.
Yeah.
And I always want you to feel that you can talk to me. Right, wrong, indifferent. You can be dead wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you the emotional support that you need in the moment.
Yeah.
But baby, when we get through the acute situation, what am I going to tell you? You know you're dead wrong, right?
Yeah.
You know you're wrong,
Yeah.
right? But I just always want my children to be able to come to me, regardless of what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having that, and if you can, for any parent out there, or any friend, because we all need somebody.
Yeah.
You might not be a parent, but you have a friend. When you have someone like that, like it, I think you being that for me genuinely has made me a better person, even in my adult life. And because I can come to you and openly say what is going on, you got to think I deal with this. So first, one thing I realized when it comes to, you know, certain mental health challenges, I thought that once I got away from Louisville, that it would go away.
No, baby, it follows you where you're.
Maybe I was in the Navy mental hospital.
Right.
I was right on Bal. In San Diego at Balboa with the same wristband on. I'm like, how did I? I thought we left this
Right. Yeah.
in high school. How am I in the Navy in the same, like?
Right.
But then, you know, and then in my relationships, like when I was with my baby daddy, we had to have a lot of real conversations because he had to know who he was with.
Yeah.
And he honestly, he handled me so well. And I think for a while, a big part of why it was hard for me to kind of like let the situation with him go was because I used to feel like nobody else is gonna want to figure me out or love me.
Yeah.
Even with all of this.
Yeah.
Because he never used it against me. He could tell. The way you learned me, he learned me in that way.
Yeah.
You know, and so like, but I don't think that would have happened had I not had some of the tools and been able to be like, okay, if I can come to my mama with this, and you two are supposed to be a person that I love and trust, I should be able to come to you with this.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say I feel like it's made me just kind of like a better person, as in I can communicate my needs.
Yeah, that's good.
Better.
That's good.
And even with my friends, like I'd be like, listen, your girl is depressed. If you don't hear from me for a few weeks, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And I can go in my shell. Where at first I used to just disappear and then get mad because nobody else figured it out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
now we're going to go into just a little lighter thing before we wrap the show up. This or that. Okay, we got this little bowl. These things are very, very random. Okay.
This or that.
Yes, this or that. And so we'll both pick two, so you can go first.
Uh-oh.
And when you pick your one, you gotta say why you picked it.
I gotta say why I picked it. I didn't know what I was picking. What do you mean?
Like-
Okay, what are we doing?
So
Oh.
what did yours say?
Tupac or Biggie? Tupac.
Cause we grew up in Cali.
West Coast, baby.
You see
West
your
Coast.
reference? No.
Yeah. West Coast. I grew up in Cali, honey. It's Tupac, California Love. Come on now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keisha Cole or Monica? Ooh, that is hard. Why did I write this? I thought you were gonna get this.
Really? It's easy for me, but go ahead.
I'm gonna go Monica.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go Monica.
Why?
I think I can relate to a lot more of her songs,
Okay.
and I know a lot more of her songs.
Yeah.
But I have a playlist that has both of them. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Literally, it's called Key and Mo. That's the name of my playlist.
Really?
Literally.
Okay.
I I know. Sticky notes is not a good idea.
Right? Never would have made it, or this is my exodus. Baby, never would have made it. Never would have made it. Come on now, Marvin Sapp. That was...
It's a classic.
It is.
Yeah.
I love This Is My Exodus too, but man, never would have made it is undefeated.
Yeah.
And that's been my mother's ringtone for about 10 years.
Yeah, very long time.
Mama's ringtone.
Never changed.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Fun fact, This Is My Exodus is a song that I was listening to when I rededicated my life to Christ. I was in the car listening to it, crying, trying to drive at the same time. Like, God, just take me back. Just take me back. I don't want to be outside your will. I'm trying to see. Power or BMF?
Oh.
I'm gonna go power.
Power.
Yeah.
Power verse.
They got a whole multiverse.
Power.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so, what is your wisdom nugget that you'll give the people? And I'll say mine.
My wisdom nugget is just love. Just love. Love people through their ups, their downs, good times, bad times, when you understand them, when you don't understand them. God is love. Love is God. When we love people, this is a way I believe that we show up, and we are the hands, the feet, the heart, the mind of Jesus. And so, man, just love people. Yeah.
I like that.
Just love.
Yeah. My wisdom nugget is going to be that, just to remember that no problem is too big for God.
Yeah.
And I just say that because there's been a lot of times where I feel like this is too much for me. And I was like, yeah, that's actually true, but it won't be too much for God.
Like that.
Yeah. Cast the cares.
Come on now.
Cast
your cares.
Cast your cares. So,
yeah.
No problems to be. Even when you feel like you're, like she said, she was helpless but not hopeless, is because, like, I don't know what to do, but I know I can pray. I know I can show love, and I can pray.
Yeah.
I can get other people to pray. You know? So that's why I'm saying, just no problem's too big for God. I cover people in prayer all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. So
yeah. All right.
So I want to thank you guys for watching.
Yay.
And we'll see you on the next episode.